Hello, YouTube. Another update edition. Well, it's Friday. Thank God for Friday. And while we sit here looking at the egg in its messed up form, which I will explain, I was able to join a live stream. Aussie Brick Chick, ABC live stream. Their late evening, our early morning. And there I was able to say hello to Iceberg, also known as Mel from the Lego Masters show. And then this morning I got a lovely instant message chat thread going with Manny, also from Lego Masters. And they are both digging the vibe of the crystal egg, the very large crystal egg. So, I think in the last video I talked about how I just lightly tucked or attached things and it was not very strong. So, as I've been explaining, if you've been following along, this top part was already built from the former incarnation of this spaceship. This ring structure, of course, is all new. The bottom part. So what is happening is I am starting to reinforce and build the vertical stuff. I don't know what else to call it. The vertical beam, yes, the vertical I-beam. The vertical beam, all the structures that are beams in there. So I'm slipping the cell phone in just so you can get a good look. Triangulation, always important. I cannot keep talking about that enough when it comes to structural engineering. So there's one vertical attachment on that side coming down. It goes in, and what I'm starting to do is brick reinforce or build bricks and plates around every time one of these compound joints pins in, and there's the reason why. Can you see that little naughty red one on the other side? It's starting to pop loose, and that's just because the weight is piling onto this thing. It's becoming extremely heavy, and I'm wondering how far can I work the cell phone in? Pretty darn far. So there it is from the inside. It's very roomy. And you can see triangulated cross members have been added to it to reinforce the structure where needed. These guys, when it comes to the top, it really only has to support its own weight. That's not bad. It's when I start to get into the middle and branching off of this main ring where things get really interesting and complicated, as you can see. So a lot of cross beams, those ones in red, alternating with the ones in white, and 8 different vertical beam structures going down to reinforce the connection and the vast weight that's suspended off of this thing. So this is really the central hub where everything has to come together. As far as the sides, I'm still working on it. The good news is now that I'm reinforcing all this thing together, if I try to move it, I can't. The egg is one all locked structure. The only problem is, once again, the popping that's occurring. I tried to lift this up to get a sense of the weight. It's definitely very beefy, but then I immediately started to hear little pops and clicks and those creaks that no Technic builder ever wants to hear. So I've stopped, and I'm coming back and doing some beefy reinforcement strategies. There's another area, you can see it from the backside, where I'm going to drop a plate in there and stud connect that sucker, or I may go with this type of thing where I go on the outside and use a 4 or some other strategy where, I'm starting to, you can see there, that plate over there on the front side, that'll go on the rear side. I may have to separate it by, 1 2x1 or 1x2 plate distance toward me, toward the camera side, and then put the plate in just to keep the studs from hitting that Technic stuff. But overall, I'm using very much studful connection strategies to reinforce this stuff out, and you can see it makes an appearance down here for the first time, in my build at least. So overall, just painting together, it looked great. It doesn't mean it was mechanically great or structurally great. It was a wreck and a mess, barely hanging on. But by gradually tearing and ripping sections of it off, getting my fingers in there and doing the ship in a, not the Lego ship in a bottle, but a real ship in a bottle type of, this type of stuff. There's a lot of this going on where I'm pinning Technic in there like that, doing that sort of thing with my hand. So it's a bit slow going just because it's very awkward to build in that sort of way. But that's my update. Really, it's not gonna look any different. It's just all mechanical structures and static building to make sure this thing holds up. And I'm thinking I'm not gonna wait for the end of the build to do a nice photograph. I might do nice little vignettes of work in progress, put some space dudes on there and call it maybe making the prosperity or building the egg, or as each section kind of gets roughed in structurally, I may stop. If I can lift this at this point, it's really heavy, and get it out to the studio, I might do these incremental little stories of it building over time, because so many people have really enjoyed and been wowed by just the egg itself. So I'm listening. I'm hearing it, dudes. I'm hearing it, ladies. I will stop for a moment and make a little mini vignette, take a picture of it, and continue to go from there. So there's your quick little update, and I'll stand in front of this before I say goodbye. Got my ironical shirt on, my Helvetic ironical shirt, but yeah, it's getting very large. It's about that high. It's about yay high. The corn is knee high, waist high by July. I don't know. Looking good. Looking good. A bit of a mess, but it's slowly coming together. And I wish you all well. Thanks for watching if you've watched, and have a great day.